Hello everyone, my name is Matías del Campo. I'm an Associate Professor of Architecture at Topman College for Architecture and Urban Planning. And today I would like to talk to you a little bit about some questions in regards of your incoming to our college. Of course, everyone has in mind that transition that happened in the last couple of months from a purely face-to-face educational system to a system that combines or is purely online. In the case of my studios and seminars, we were in the lucky situation that the majority or most important parts of the teaching already traditionally were done within a computational realm, talking about that, meaning that it was already, some of those solutions were already online. My studios and seminars are what is called computationally heavy. So there is an emphasis on computational design, innovative design methods that rely on computational power. And so we already had things like a GitHub repository where we were sharing code and ideas and so on. We of course have an Instagram presence like anyone else. So there is like a whole ecology, a digital ecology I would call it, that was already part of my studios and my seminars, that include, for example, also cloud computing solutions. As mentioned, some of the work is computationally heavy, and we rely on a solution that actually helps students to get access to large machines without having to buy them. They get accessed online. And we successfully worked with this system in the last semester, already during the whole process to move into the virtual as an educational environment. I have to say that what really was interesting to me was the response of students in regards of how they perceived that transition from the face-to-face education in the studio, for example, with my thesis group, to the online learning situation, and they really were surprised how seamlessly that transition was done. And on top of it, it created an interesting side effect, which was pointed out by some of the students, which is that normally when you do, for example, desk crits, this is a very personal face-to-face thing with students or with a student or a group of students. And because we're all in these Zoom meetings, you of course can create breakout groups where you discuss privately with students, but we decided to make it open and accessible for everyone, so that interested people, but in particular the other students of the studio, had the possibility to listen in the conversations that I'm having with other students, which of course also informs their own project and their own way of thinking about things. This was a really interesting side effect that really helped a lot in developing the quality of the projects at the end. So I think that this could be an interesting model, especially also in regards of how a global communication in terms of education can work. One experience we also had, which was amazing, was that our final review, for example, the review guests, the review panel, was normally you have those people in your room. These are like 4 or 5 guests that you invite. The discussion is very exclusive because it only happens in that space and that time. And I thought, because we have this online solution now, I can change that notion, and I invited actually a global review panel with guests from Europe, from Australia, from China, and of course from the States, and they all came together at one specific time to discuss the project with the students, with a review board that otherwise would be almost impossible to assemble in a physical space. So that was an incredible advantage, and in addition, those reviews, my review was also streamed live to a larger audience. So this was probably the largest audience we ever had for a thesis review. And I think this is an amazing opportunity for students to broadcast their thesis or their projects to the outside world and to present themselves, which of course gives them more exposure all around the world. So this is an incredible tool set that we have now at our hands that is most likely going to change how we think about studio work and seminars and so on. And most likely this will be a combination between real life experience and some people describe it as the magic of the face-to-face meeting, and the possibility to reach out globally through digital tools like Zoom and others.